today to talk to you about being way too busy. I had a conversation with someone recently about busyness and feeling busy and how we're always creating this chaos and feeling like we need to be doing something. I also attended a workshop that was about social media and how it affects our children, and the fact that it was called Screenagers. It was about the screen time that children and teenagers are spending, which is naturally part of their culture right now. But between these two conversations and experiences, I really started thinking about the busyness in my own life. And I read some articles about our brains and the way they work around busyness compared to creativity. So it got me to thinking, all of the innovation that's happening today has come from daydreaming. It's come from downtime. It's come from the need to be innovative to solve problems. And what I understand neurobiologically is that our brain needs time to put all of that into place. Our problem solving, our innovative thinking, our creativity dramatically reduces when we're without boredom. So I think about my childhood and the times that I was bored and I had to figure out something to do. Today, children tend to just go to that screen. Not just children, adults tend to go to that screen. So I'm in a waiting room at my doctor's office, and what am I going to do? I'm going to grab my phone and I'm going to aimlessly scroll, and I'm going to look at Facebook, and I'm going to check my email, and I'm going to feel like I have to do that, because when I don't, I sit there and I get agitated and anxious. And I don't know if you've experienced that. Not having your phone, not having a screen to distract, feeling that anxiety that happens. We've trained our brains, we've trained ourselves to have this anxiety about being bored for a minute. What's wrong with people watching? What's wrong with tracing the pattern on a carpet? These are the times when our brain relaxes, when it resets. And we're stealing from ourselves by always being busy, always having that phone or that screen in our hand, feeling like we're going to miss something if we don't. And I honestly can say that I have anxiety around that. So when I thought about taking Facebook off my phone, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss something that I'm supposed to be at. I'm not going to know that such and such is happening. And what if I find out about it after and I'm disappointed? Well, what if I don't find out about it and I just go outside and I enjoy nature and I read a book and I do all of these things that I know are so satisfying, but I tend not to do because I've got this need to be busy and to be involved. I truly believe that it's an addiction, that I've trained my brain to be busy. And sadly, what's going to happen, and what neurobiologists are talking about, is that all that innovation that brought us all this wonderful technology today that keeps us busy and distracted is going to come to a screeching halt. Because we're not going to daydream. We're not going to put ourselves in that problem-solving space that our brains need. We're not going to embrace creativity. So innovation is suddenly going to plummet because we literally need daydreaming in order to be creative, in order to be innovative. So I compel you to think about that a little bit more, and to think about how in your day, when you go to reach for that phone, to look up for a minute, to look around you and to see where your mind could go, where it could be more creative if you were just allowed to be bored for a minute and you had to figure something else out to do. Or maybe you just did nothing. Sometimes we need that time just to do nothing and to be okay with that, and to stop telling ourselves that we're lazy or disengaged if we decide to do something that's just fun, creative, or restful. So I challenge you, perhaps look at a child for a moment and see how they bring these things into their life and imitate them for a little while. Because children understand that they can creatively find things to do as long as we're not always giving them everything to do. And we can do that too. So I encourage you to challenge yourself to find a little boredom.